2025. This is a work session of the School Board of School Board Trustees of School City of East Chicago. The time is 6:15. The place is the School City of East Chicago, Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street in East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. This is also being shown via live stream, www.scec.k.12.in.us. This is the meeting of the school board in a public for the purpose of conducting the school's corporation business as not to be considered a public community meeting. Roll call, please.
Trustee Rodriguez. Present. Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
President Gibson King.
Present. Oh.
You're not trustee.
But I know she coming. I didn't know he was gonna make, okay. So anyway, so today is the strategic planning alignment for today, and Dr. Bonet will speak.
Good evening again, School Board. I am excited for our School Board of Trustees focus group and the focus of tonight's work session. So this is an opportunity for the board to participate and work with our partner, Revolutionary Ed. This is kicking off the strategic planning process tomorrow. Our partners will be in and throughout the school city at our various schools, engaging with various stakeholder groups, but they're starting the process with our school board. So I would like to turn it over to Dr. Greg Hutchings of Revolutionary Ed.
All right, thank you all. And I'm looking forward to this. Before we even get started, I always believe in doing a form of an icebreaker, right? I know you all know some things about yourself, but you have not done, well, maybe you have, but I hope not, the cultural connections cards. Have you all done this activity before? All right, this is a great friend of mine. Her name is Dr. Fran Perlman, and she created these cultural connections cards. And it's ways for people, if they're a part of a team or part of a group or part of an organization, to get to know each other on a very different level. So it's not just the basic, how was your day today, right? It's getting a little deeper. So we're gonna start off by doing this. And do I need to stay on this mic as I'm talking, or am I able to get up?
You're able to get up, but we probably won't hear you. You can carry it with you.
So what we're gonna do first is, I feel like I'm a talk show host now. I'm gonna ask you all to just take one of these. You can flip through it. You can't look at the card though. So just get lucky and pick one of those cards. Pick a card, any card. Steve Harvey, watch out. I don't wanna work all them jobs. Steve Harvey, he's everywhere. So everybody picks a card. Thank you, sir. And then take a moment to look at your card for a second. So just flip your card over. It's probably a question that you have never been asked before, I'm sure. So take a moment to look at that card, because actually you're not going to answer that question. Somebody is going to ask you their question. So you don't know what you're going to be asked, but we're going to just take a quick moment just to connect in a cultural way. So what I want you to do is I want you to team up with somebody. So you can just find your partner, it can be the person sitting right next to you, and they're going to ask you their question, and then you're going to ask them your question. Does that make sense?
So it'd be 3 against 2.
Yeah. So we'll do 3 over this side and you 2 right here.
Just in case.
I thought it was from you. Tell a story when you were misunderstood.
So you asked me.
My entire life.
I will ask
There you
you.
go, Greg. Are we taking notes?
No, just.
So create a question about anything.
Create a question about anything in my life. Yeah. Ah,
But it's like, what's she going to? That's the question.
oh. I know, it's just so,
She was holding that cross, man. She was talking, thinking about it. Lord, come on.
create a question about anything in my life. No, let's not go there.
Why did you? No.
Well,
Yeah, let me think
Yeah.
about it. And I'll go. Okay.
Then read your her question.
I'm interested in this one.
Yes.
If you could have a do-over in your life, what would you change?
Oh, really? I would not even work at all.
You wouldn't work out?
No, that ain't it. No, I would change, oh my goodness. Would change, I wouldn't be too much,
I forgot a very important part. You get 1 minute to respond. I forgot to mention that part.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you get 1 minute to respond, so we can't tell our dissertation.
I always had said to myself, if there was something that I would change in my life, I always said I would kind of like do the same things, but it's not that now. I think I would just change, yeah, I think about life.
That would be okay.
Oh, to you? Oh, this is a good one. Tell a story about when you
Oh, gosh.
were truly afraid.
I get that one.
I was truly afraid in 1989. No, 1987.
Yeah.
I had 86 amateur fights, 13 losses, and more like a series of fight one. I have to fight again. Gentleman, I have reservations. I fought him about 3 months ago. Before we get to the final. So I'm like, that was the one that comes, that story of nervous.
Yeah.
Gave it all.
scared makes you work harder.
You know, I just gave it everything I got.
I'm winning this.
I wasn't pausing for nothing. I just wanted to just let it all out. Finals too, so I was.
Go ahead, don't mess with you.
Okay.
Did you get your question?
Yeah.
And your answer?
My answer to the question of the question, why do I go by my middle name? And not my
I was
first
gonna ask you that too, because I saw it, middle name was Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
So my father,
Maria is the first.
Maria is my first name. It's also my mother's name.
Oh, okay, so confusion.
Mercedes is my dad's middle name. Jose Mercedes. He was born after the patron Saint Mercedes on September 24th of the Dominican Republic. And my father, who is my knight in shining armor, I'm a daddy's girl.
I love it.
But he has 5 children with 4 different moms, and all of them, including mine, are named Marias.
You said I'm gonna be different.
So I'm going to use my middle name.
What part of the
Okay.
Dominican Republic?
San Pedro de Macorís.
Okay.
Where
I've been
Sammy
to Puerto
Sosa's from.
Plata. It's
Okay.
Okay.
About 4 hours away.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you all came back, right? This is important to really start off anytime you're doing something, to have some form of connection, right? Because we're having conversations now about the direction that we want to go as a school district, and how can we start having that conversation when we haven't asked something about ourselves, right? And I think that's very important to connect. I do this with students, with teachers, with administrators, board members. A lot of times these are questions that people never really get asked. So they're like, wow, can I get a copy of those cards? A lot of people, they go and they order them. You can find them online. They're called a cultural connections cards. And the learning,
Okay.
yeah, it's on here. The Learning Collaborative, Fran Perlman, she is the creator of these. And dear friend of mine, I've been using these cards since she created them a few years ago, but I've been working with Fran since 2010, so for about 15 years now. She works all over the world. So that's why she's able to come up with all these different questions, which I love.
Nice.
So today, the goal is that we're going to talk about a few things. And we also are going to be engaged in some activity, because I think it is important, if we're having a work session, that we're also, using our brains and interacting and collaborating. So we do have a few activities that we're going to do today as well. And I know we do have a time frame, so we don't have all night, but I'm hoping to really get some, concrete information from you all for this. So the first thing that I wanted to share is just the objectives for today. And the key words, as you can see: review, explore, gather, discuss, build, right? So this is all about action that we're going to be doing today, because everything that we discuss during our session today is going to set the tone, as well as the guidance that the Strategic Planning Committee is going to need when we begin our first meeting tomorrow. And this is the best way to start that. The board should be guiding the strategic plan. I recall at our first kickoff session, there was a former board member who's on the strategic planning team. I don't know if she's a former board member here or just a former school board member somewhere. I'm not really sure where she was a school board member. But she said, "Where's the board?" And I said, "There are 2 board members who are going to be a part of the strategic planning committee." And that was something that the board was adamant about as well, because representation is important. And it's also important to hear the diverse perspectives of all the different stakeholders that you all serve too, right? That's how you all grow. That's how it helps you know if you're moving in the right direction. So the first thing that we're going to do today is an activity. Before I do that, I just want to just do a quick recap of the timeline. This was shared with you all at the introductory presentation that we did a couple of months ago. But you can see we've already begun to gather data. I believe that you all got copies of the data reports maybe a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago. But those reports are based on the data that came from the 100-day plan that the superintendent, when he presented his findings to you all. It also was data that came from the state report card information. And I believe there was a presentation that was done for you all. That's the information I got to see from the presentation. I think the presentation was done last spring, or maybe over the summer or in the fall. I'm not really sure the date that it was done, but it was in the past. And then also just some academic data that was also shared with us. And what we did is we took all of these data sources and we did a full analysis to kind of see, well, what are some of the trends that are happening here in SCEC? And many are not going to be surprising to you all. I mean, we see that there are some academic disparities, that we are seeing amongst our students. We know that there's some literacy gaps, right? There's some math gaps as well that we're seeing. The graduation rate has increased, but it's still not where we want it to be. So these are just some of the trends that came out of the data. And what we want to do today is have conversations around some of the things that we currently have in place. So for example, our mission statement and our vision statement, you already have those. So we want to talk through, is it still what we want to do, right? Is the current mission and the current vision, is that going to allow us to go where we're trying to go or where we need to go as a school system? And you all don't have core values currently, so we want to be able to talk through, well, what are some of our core values? What do we believe? So that can help the Strategic Planning Committee really touch on what they know is important to the board and and the direction that you all want to go moving forward. So that's going to be our task. It sounds like a lot, but a lot of it was done because we're not starting from scratch, because we have a mission and vision, so we're just going to be reacting to that to see if there are any tweaks or changes we want to make to it. And then we're going to do an activity that takes us into how do we develop some core values and what we believe, okay? So let's start with the mission statement. Now, how many of you are familiar with the mission statement and the vision statement? Or is that something that you all use? Do you have discussions around it? Is it posted in classrooms or buildings, or you start board meetings with it? I mean, how familiar are you with it, and how do you use it?
I believe we do start our board meetings. It's sort of fairly new. I know previously we've had several other mission statements, but yeah, we've never used them. So this like Learning for All, whatever it takes, something simple. You know, we had some mission statements, but this one here is sort of new. Has it been sort of semi-approved by the board? I don't know, because I've never seen this until we've actually started having our meetings with our new superintendent.
We did approve that. That has been board approved.
Okay.
It's been around for a few years.
But it never was used. It's been around.
I don't know what you mean in terms of used, but
Did it guide your work? Do you think
No,
that it was guiding, like, your decision-making and when you all? Yeah.
no.
So what I'm hoping we'll be able to do today is start thinking about, like, how we want to do our work. Because, you know, a mission statement, first off, and I'm just telling you this, you may already have this background, but just so you can have some context to how we're working through this. So a mission statement defines what we are doing now, who we are, and what we're doing now, right? So it's kind of like, this is our mission. This is what we stand for. This is how we work now and currently. Our vision statement is where we are trying to go or who we're trying to be. So your vision statement should be long-term, whereas your mission is in your current state and more so short-term, right? Mission statements, I always share with school districts that a mission statement could change in, you know, at the end of a strategic plan. It's possible because it's more of a short-term goal, whereas a vision statement may stay around for a while because in 5 years, you still may not have attained where you're trying to go, right? So you shouldn't see a mission statement changing often. As I was doing an initial review of your mission and vision, they actually are good mission and vision statements. You know, I've seen some mission and vision statements where I can tell you in the former district that I worked with, their vision statement was actually a mission statement, and their mission statement was actually a vision statement, right? So we swapped them and made some tweaks to it. But for 5 years, that is how they have been operating. Their mission statement, they were talking about what they're doing in the future. In their vision statement, they were talking about what they were doing now. So they had it swapped, right? But no one ever brought that up until I came along. I was like, hey, this is what a mission statement is. And like, so we have them, but they're just in the wrong spot, right? But they had been like that for 5 years. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just a little activity. I want you to just take a look at both our mission and our vision statement. I don't know, do we have anyone who wants to volunteer to read the mission statement aloud so that we can all hear? And then we're going to do it silently too. Yep, read your mission statement.
Okay, Dr. Murray, you want to read it because I'm trying to find it. Oh, sure.
Yep.
Oh, right there. Oh,
Yep.
right there. Oh, it is, okay,
It's up here too.
okay.
I can read. The School City of East Chicago is committed to developing a community of lifelong learners who are empowered to access, process, evaluate, and ethically apply information in an ever-changing global society.
It's pretty solid. This is what we're doing. This is where we are right now. And this is what we do. And what about the vision statement? Can you read that for me? Dr. Bornay, I guess you're going to read it too.
The
He's our
schools-
spokesman today.
I can read them. The schools throughout East Chicago are a dynamic, motivating, flexible, and cooperative community of students, parents, educators, residents, agencies, and businesses learning, dialoguing, and sharing.
Now, this is where we want to go. Now, one thing I can tell you from the comments that I heard from some of the community stakeholders, we're not there yet, right? Because there was a lot of conversation around engagement, and there were conversations around, especially our English learners and our families who speak Spanish. They felt that, you know, they were not welcome in certain spaces. And that was from the comments that, you know, we got from Dr. Bornay's 100 Days in doing his town hall sessions and things of that nature. So we can see that the vision, we haven't met that yet, right? Now, we might make some tweaks to it, but we haven't made it. But what I want us to do is we're going to take a moment to just look over the mission and vision individually first. And you'll see the little Post-it notes in different colors. You know, colors are important in education, right? We like colors. We like sticky things, you know, whether it's Post-it notes or markers. But I want you to jot down 2 or 3 things that come to mind about the mission statement. And then I want you to jot down 2 or 3 things that come to mind as you're thinking about the vision statement. And each of those items that you jot down, I want you to write on a little Post-it note. So
Doesn't matter what color?
it doesn't matter what color, whatever color you're attracted to, right? And you may have different colors, but the goal is you're going to have one thought in one word or in a short sentence on each Post-it, right? So at the end, you should have 4 to 6 Post-its, right? Because you're going to do 2 or 3 for the mission and 2 or 3 for the vision. So just take a moment to look over the mission and vision and jot down 2 to 3 things that come to mind.
For the mission and the vision.
Yep, 2 or 3 things for the mission and then 2 or 3 things for the vision. Separate stickies.
So we should have 6.
So you should have 4 to 6, yep. Some people might just do 2. And I'm glad this is recorded tonight because now, Micah, you don't have to do any recordings. So you get to just engage and enjoy it. We need you to soak it in, right? So anything I miss, you can remind me. And once you get your items jotted down, I want you to first grab your mission statement items. So I saw Brock, is it Brock Stadium?
Block Stadium.
Block Stadium. Is that the middle school?
That's actually.
What was that
owned-
over
it's
there?
owned by the city
Not named
of
after,
East Chicago.
that's not Joseph Block, that's Edna, Block Stadium.
Yeah. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
it's a different block.
It's a Block family.
Oh, got it, okay. So I was like, wow, the middle school has a big old stadium like that? I was like, I can't wait to see the high school. I've been reading about all your schools and everything, so now everything I see, you know, I get to see it in real life now, which is great.
We have been in the news quite a bit.
Well, no, I've been just reading from my work. But we'll be at the middle school and the high school tomorrow, so we'll get to see both buildings, which is great. And as you're thinking about these things to jot down, think about like if these statements, if they reflect your long-term goals, as you're thinking about SCEC's long-term goals, like do these statements reflect that? Or what's something that stands out around it? And then also be thinking about, you know, should it be updated or should something be emphasized more as you're looking at this? So those are kind of the prompts you want to think in your mind.
I just have a question. Where do we get the vision statement from? Was that
Doc-
in our
Dr.
policy?
Balch-
Was-
Dr. Balch helped us formulate that. We sat in this room and went through this exercise.
Who's Dr. Bolchet?
He's a professor from Indiana State University.
Okay.
He has helped the board on board development, and he was the one who came here and worked with us on this mission statement and the vision statement.
Got it. Do you remember what year that was?
I was just looking it up. I saw it in 2022.
Okay, so not too long ago.
It might have been somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the pandemic.
Yes,
All right.
clearly, yeah.
Well, after we were back from the pandemic. I guess we're still in the pandemic because people are still getting COVID, but we're back in schools. So I'll give you a little more time. Yep. Like being back in school, right? It's good to use parts of the brain you don't use often. It's healthy.
Where did you pull the vision statement from?
It was given to me from the team. I'm not sure where they pulled the vision statement from. Dr. Bonet, you may
I was
want to
just
have
wondering
that.
if that was a typo. Is that supposed to be businesses?
I corrected it when I read it, but it is missing the ES for business.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. No pressure.
I can see how you could flip them.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's all.
It's easy to do. Mission and vision are, if you go to a lot of districts, they're always mixed, right? A lot of times people can easily mix them up. Can easily mix them up. I always say, just think of when you talk about vision, visionary, so you're looking ahead. Mission is what we do now, is what I try to, I also train, students at Howard, and that's what I, talk to them about when we're doing strategic planning. Our mission is what we do now. Our vision is what we want to accomplish in the future. All right, so as you all are finalizing, I want you to, let's start with our mission statement items. Hello, how are you? Okay. Good to see you, though. Like the jean outfit. I'm like, go ahead.
Hello, Trustee Smith. We now have Trustee Smith joining us now.
The real trustee Smith?
Yes, the real one.
Somebody
Yes.
impersonated you earlier today, trustee
Yes, I
Smith.
did.
Somebody said that you were here,
Yeah, because I thought.
and
he
they
was gonna
said
just
here, but it
skip
was
her name.
the
Yeah,
chair.
that's what I thought. That's what I said. Me next.
So if you want to catch up with us, trustee Smith, what we're doing is we're taking a look at the mission and the vision statement. You'll see them either on the piece of paper in front of you, or you can look at one of the screens here. And we want you to jot down on the Post-it notes 2 to 3 things that come to mind as you're reading the mission and the vision statement. And you want to think about, so for example, how well are these mission and vision statements, like how well are they reflecting where you would like to see SCEC go in the future? And then also, if there's anything you think should be updated about the current mission and vision statement, just jot down 2 to 3 things for each, 1 on each piece of paper, and then you'll catch up with us, and we'll catch you up. In the meantime, what I'm going to ask you to do is, let's start with the mission statement. So you should have 2 to 3 things that you've jotted down for the mission statement. So what I'm going to have you do is team up with a board member. Dr. Bornay, I'll have you team up with trustee Smith once she gets caught up with us. But let's have the remaining trustees team up with an individual, and you're going to have a conversation about your mission statement items. So we're going to start with the mission statement. So you can find,
Team up with Jesse. He's gonna team up with trustee Smith.
Oh, I do?
Yep.
Well, look like to me, I gotta go way down there way yet?
or he's going to come to you. You telling him he has to
Oh,
get
it
up and
don't
come to
matter.
you then.
I could go down there. I thought we was going to since. To Bornay, then Diane. But he's catching up, with Diane there. Yeah, uh-huh. So what we gonna do that, go down here?
Gibson King, he was sitting in Mike's chair over here.
Oh, sure,
So he's like, come on, let me get her
yes,
chair. Queen has to have a throne.
yes.
Heard that.
Hey,
Been here all her life too. She deserves that seat.
yes. Okay.
You're just having a conversation about your
Yes.
Just telling her your thoughts.
Okay. Share our thoughts.
Black and white.
Okay.
This thing is. Find information, et cetera.
Committed to developing a community. The goal is to develop a community.
When you develop a community, you develop a strong foundation.
But we can't forget why we're here. We're a local, we are an institution. I don't see that word in there.
I get what you're saying.
We're developing a community. It's our job to develop a community. That's like part of, that's like the city of Chicago, not school city of Chicago. It's something
However.
that's committed to educating. They don't have any social skills. Educating our students, or something that's more of a student outcome or student achievement rather than. Well, then again, the lifelong learners could be.
Lifelong means
We're striving to do because we're not doing it now. And the mission's supposed to be, this is what we're doing.
I'm just a recorder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just-
So why don't you take
So maybe we can try to communicate that somewhere.
So with back, reporting back.
Yeah, because your division would be to the end result is to have that student become a citizen. With some of the others that we may be adding. As far as that, we actually do.
Okay.
We provide resources that overcome any obstacles for student achievement. You know what I'm saying? That's something we're.
I have a question for you, Joel. I guess two, but I'm only gonna ask one. Based off your last statement, how would you define student achievement? Like, what is that?
Finding the resources needed.
Family, we've got lifelong learners.
Equipment, we're there for.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
That's why everybody said it moved.
But it has to be a holistic approach, right? Because in a sense, the school city has
I don't know that
every department, every single role, we all have a role to play into that. So holistically, school city of Chicago. There.
This seems aspiration and not what we do.
We got more involved, churches.
Which goes with the social skills, but still you have to have all of those. Self-sufficiency. That's a good.
That's why I'd rather be more geared toward.
I have a question. So when you think of a community, there are these different elements of a community that make up like thriving communities. So there's like hospitals, there's grocery stores, there's churches, there's all these things. And if you remove them, the community suffers. If you remove enough of them, the community fails. So what is the school system's responsibility in that broader community? I guess might be helpful in that.
That's why I'm at.
So I think
The education for it,
Mm-hmm.
as far as.
that's those who the lifelong learners are. I don't know how.
Let's remove developing a community. School City of East Chicago is committed to what?
I'm just real simple, because I'm just rolling on, that's the main focus that I'm seeing now. And it ain't just started.
They gotta get to that scholar. I mean, good athlete, we need you to be scholarly too.
Yes.
Do we have to put the how though?
Well, the how was the core. We'll get to that.
So yeah, core values are basically how you go about doing your work. What's a lifelong learner?
I know, it's like, where do we stop?
Right when I say lifelong learners,
My mission statement from my election.
So life, I don't want to say too much. I want you all to do that. Like, you identify as a lifelong learner.
Bring us all back. I want to get it on the mic. We're still talking about mission. We want to get to mission.
This is a mission.
Yeah, just mission.
This is a mission.
Oh, this is a mission.
This is a mission.
It is a mission. You heard that?
This is a mission.
okay, so.
All right, so listen, folks, we're going to get back to getting this on the mic. I wanted you all to have a trial run with your peer, right, or your colleague, so that we can share out. Because as we're thinking about, our mission statement, right, we have to be thinking about what are we doing now, right? Not what we want to do now. And what I heard just in the conversation when I was with, speaking over with the board chair and also Trustee Gomez, excuse me, was that some of the things that are currently in the mission are just, we're not there yet. And we'll be able to elaborate a little bit more and have some more discussion around that, because so it's not that it's wrong or it's bad. I didn't hear anybody say that, oh, this is they actually thought some of the statements are great, but that is not true to who we are right now. It's more aspirational right now. That's where we want to be. But let's hear our thoughts. So who wants to kind of share out just some of your initial thoughts in regards to mission? Does the current mission align with what SCEC is doing now? Is it true to what we're doing right now?
Well, I'll speak because, like I said, that this could come later. It's good for later, but we got to get to where we need to be. So what I said was, I've always said, the two A's should go together, academic and athletics, because right now, it ain't just started right now, but we are focused more on athletics, and they should work together. So that was what I should say as far as the mission is concerned, as far as where we need to go, on that path.
I saw Trustee Rodriguez and then Trustee Gomez.
Trustee Gomez, you want to go first?
While we're on the topic, I'd like to add another A, and that'd be for the arts.
For the arts.
For the arts, yeah. That being said, my response to the mission statement would be that currently I don't sense that we are working towards, I like that the word developing is in there. Whether it should be in there or not's another question, but I think when we were putting this together, we were thinking about getting there sooner than later. But the challenge I had was on the global society. I feel we are very provincial here. We are very insulated, and I don't think we do enough to get our kids outside of the comfort zone that's in our community. And I see other school districts sending their kids to Florida and Georgia and, other parts of the country or even other parts of the state. They seem to be very engaged in getting their students exposed to environments outside of the community they grew up in. And I think that's a huge advantage as we are operating under a global society. The second challenge I had to the mission statement was the part where it says that lifelong learners who are empowered. I don't feel that they're empowered. If they are, then I'd like to hear how we empower them, because I just don't feel like it. I think empowered is a great word to use you might want to use collaboration in substitute of the word empowered, but it doesn't seem that there's enough collaboration or empowerment going on for lifelong learners who I see in this statement as students. It could mean staff as well, but I think there's a gap there. And kind of likewise to that, the third was, does the community evaluate information? I would say no. Our community, I think, as you probably have already evaluated or researched, not a high level of education in our community. So lacking that information, I think it makes it hard for somebody to ethically apply information to evaluate what's good for our students. Some of us feel that the chalkboard is still the way to learn, and that's the way we were raised. So if it was good enough for me, it should be good enough for those kids. It's a totally different world out there. And so I think we need to work not only on our students, but on our community to raise their level of awareness of what educational requirements are expected or best for our children.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Gomez. Trustee Rodriguez?
Okay, so I was all over the place with the mission statement. In regards to, developing a community, I see that happening. However, it's going to take more than just School City of East Chicago to develop a community. It's going to take everyone, including the city, park departments, the hospitals, the churches, just everything coming together, right? And I think if we're gonna put a mission statement that says developing a community, at least show that we're committing to develop what in the community. So we're missing something. We're missing that part within the community that we can play, which is basically our learners. So the lifelong learners, I'm assuming those are students.
I'm assuming. I don't know.
I know, I'm assuming, because we're not really identifying our students in our mission statement, nor are we identifying our staff, faculties, administrators, teachers, custodians. I mean, we need to have something that's going to really bring us all together in our mission statement, because all of that come together helps student outcomes, providing student outcomes. We talk about, and I agree with Jesse on the the processes, the evaluates, all those different names, but really what is our main focus? To empower what? We have to empower, we want to empower our students. So why don't we just say, let's empower our students, and let's, in a ever-changing global society, because our society has changed. That part I did like. Is there anything else you want to add?
Trustee Taylor?
So I think I kind of missed the assignment a little bit. So so I understood, hey, let's look at this mission statement and what are the words that pop out. I didn't sit here and evaluate, do we reflect that mission statement?
I didn't either. Okay. Same thing. Went to what I wanted to
I'm
say.
still evaluating. I've only been in my seat for a couple months now, so I'm still evaluating. So I was just looking at the mission statement and seeing, okay, what pops out? What are the words that pop out? Foundation pops out to me. Developing a community of lifelong learners means you are developing foundation or instituting foundation in individuals so that they're rooted in this community and we come back. You know, I just shared the example, him and I graduated from the school district and we're back, pouring back into our school
That's
district.
awesome.
So that's where I think, to me, developing that community, I mean, we are one big community, and within the community, we have sub-communities, like I think the other gentleman that was with you here, he was saying, hey, you got the healthcare component, you have, the city component, you have the church component, we are the education component of the community. So how do we reflect that? So that's what I was pulling out of what I was reading. So I saw foundation coming out of here. I saw diversity coming out of here. I saw innovation in that ever-changing global society. I mean, you have to innovate, you have to evolve to be within that ever-changing global society. So are there some gaps in there? Yes, I see it, but I wasn't looking at it from the point of view of that's what we are reflecting right now. It's just what was popping out at me, which it kept taking me towards the vision as to what I would like to see.
That's right.
So I kept bouncing back and forth, so that's kind of my input.
Which is good because your mission should drive where your vision goes, right? So you're spot on with how it's taking you from your mission to your vision. That's how it should be. So you're actually doing it. You're right on target.
Okay.
Right on target.
I think I missed it.
What about Trustee Smith? What were your thoughts about the mission statement?
Really don't want to hear all I have to say. Hope I'm on target.
You have your mic on?
Yes,
Okay.
I hope I'm on target. Right now, I'm just kind of a little bit all over the place, but my comment on the mission statement is, it's dear to my heart, our career pathway is not being provided to our students in the directions prior to graduation, which should start at the grade of, really they said ninth grade, but we should start in middle school. With the career pathway, that will motivate them, empower them, and provide them with those skills that they need to be global ready. You have to be able to have all of those entities in order to get to the next level. If a student is not basically taught those skills, they're not going to make it. Because I've noticed that some students have gone away to college, and that's all they've done, and they have come back because I'm not blaming the district, but we have not prepared them for college. We've gotten them through high school, but once they get into the real world of college or a technical skill, they can't handle it. So I think that the career pathway needs to be improved. When we need equipped teachers that can help them with their skills, social skills, and they really need empowerment. They have to know that they can do it. And I'm just give you an example. My little cousin graduated from, I'm not going to call it the school's name, and once she got down to Indiana University, she wanted to be a nurse practitioner. She had no idea. But the first thing that professor told her, half of you all in here are not going to make it. And I guarantee you. So it started the whole thing. And our family had to get together and continue to motivate her. Now, guess what? She's an executive over, I can't even think of it. She started at Casico, and then she says, I'm not going to be here long. But because that teacher, the school didn't provide her with what she needed, it frightened her. And then to go into a college and someone tell you, half of you all are not going to make it, that kind of like let you know, okay, am I in the right place? But had everybody, the teachers, provided her with with the career pathway and the social emotional skills and the empowerment, she wouldn't be where she is today. I mean, and she has risen to the top. But because of that, they have to be career ready. We have to give them a vision. The teachers, social workers, counselors, everybody has to give them a vision. Everybody has a gift. It's up to the parent. I'm not going to leave the parent out because a parent should know what their child is good. If they're good in arts, if they're good in sports, but all of that works together because you have to have good grades. You can't just be a basketball star in high school and you can't perform when you go away to college. And that's one of the things I think that most urban schools are failing in, not just our district, but they're failing because they're a star at home, but when they hit the real world, it's a whole different entity. You know, when you went to college, what did they do? First thing they did, what first thing did they do? They gave you a syllabus. They didn't care if you understood it or not, what they do. This is what we have to do. This is what I need from you. And I think that our students in urban areas are missing that. I mean, truly. So we have to educate them, and we have to provide them with social-emotional skills not to give up. Yeah, you're going to have some fallout days or whatever, but you got to have a big support system. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just feel like the career readiness is falling apart. Parents need to be able to understand the power of education. See, and I feel that our parents, they participate, but they don't understand the power of education, which sometimes parents need to be educated themselves. And it has been said, I can't help my child because I don't know the new math. I can't help, even though the child got the right answer, and the teacher says, well, how did you come to that? Well, I'm old school.
Right.
2 + 2 is 4. Okay, how did you come to that? And the child said, well, my mom said 2 + 2, she helped me. So I feel parents should have a big responsibility in this mission statement with the community. We have a parenting university. They need to be engaged in order, and we need to provide programs to empower parents. Because as you know, we're getting younger and younger parents, which just made it through high school. But you want to always have that child be the first through career, social, emotional education, and your district pushing you. That's me. Maybe I'm saying too much, but that's just the way I feel.
Makes a good point. And Dr. Bournet, what were your thoughts about the mission statement?
So the words that jumped out at me or resonated with me the most from the mission was empowered, lifelong learners, and global. And so I specifically talked with Trustee Smith about how everyone ought to be empowering our students. But it's also talking about this community of lifelong learners. So the lifelong learner doesn't just focus on the students. Obviously, our end product are students. How do we also engage and empower our parents, other stakeholder groups? How do we empower our staff, our leaders? And then we talked about this ability to inspire a student to be a lifelong learner, what keeps them learning beyond when they leave our halls. And then finally, the global stood out as we have a diverse community. We embrace the diversity of our community, but we also want to prepare our students to take their place globally, anywhere in the world. And we used examples of some of our alumni who do work in other parts of the world, and how they come back and share with our students that I'm an international sports commentator, or I am on an international basketball team. All of those types of alumni, letting them know we prepare them to work globally.
Yeah, and and thank you for sharing that. One point that I want to make is that even if your mission, as stated right now, may not be exactly what's happening, it can be what the board says we expect to happen. This is now your opportunity to say, this is what we do. This is what we do in, the school city of East Chicago. This is what we do now. And it will also help you hold folks accountable for what's expected too, right? Because if we change the mission so that it's only aligned with exactly how it is right now, guess what? We're going to have the same results. And I think Trustee Gomez mentioned that, right? That's why, in his perspective, we're seeing some of the same data is because we keep doing the same stuff. So this is now the opportunity to say, okay, this is how things were, or we may keep the same mission statement, but now this is what we're expecting. We're expecting this. We're expecting that you're committed to developing a community. And then we're defining what community is: business partners, parents, colleges and universities, whatever our community, what we're going to define it as, right? Maybe we take that time to define it, in that we want to have lifelong learners, and maybe the lifelong learners are specifically our students, but it may also be staff, because staff have to learn too. They're going to now have to learn how to educate our students this way. And I think that the chair mentioned this. You said that you got teachers who are at the chalkboard and the students are not paying attention, but then students might be on their computer and wanting to do it in a different way. And teachers say, well, I'm old school and I learned this way, right? So now everybody's missing each other. And we have to meet students where they are. Times have changed tremendously from when we went to school.
Oh, yes.
Yes, they have.
But I don't think this is one entity that I always say, schools should have never changed. We all was taught. Now, what should have happened was when our kids got, the computers should have been added to what we missed out on.
Yeah.
But we didn't get the computers.
Yeah, we had to go to the library and go looking for the encyclopedia. I still remember. I remember keeping that encyclopedia one time for a whole semester. And I got that
Yes.
big old library bill. But we didn't have it at our fingertips. But think of it this way. Students can now, they have things right at their fingertips. So if you ask me to do 2 + 2, I could be 1 year old and tell you what that is by just putting 2 + 2
Yes.
on the phone. It's 4.
So just to get back to what you were saying, I think you hit some really key points. I believe Trustee Gomez, as well as the superintendent, with regards to the access processes, evaluates, and ethically apply information. Those things could be part of our core values in terms of where we want to place those areas. So to keep it more of a simple mission statement that kind of reflects all, School City of East Chicago is committed to developing a community of lifelong learners who are empowered in a ever-changing global society. Something where it's actually coming where when we start bringing out the processes of how we're going to do that.
That's right.
Could be part of the core
Yep.
value. Just my thoughts.
And I think that's a good point, right? And I think you're making a key connection to some of the adjectives or the things that we're describing could be core values, right? So we talk about engaging our community. We believe in engaging our community, such as businesses, parents, families, like that might be our core value. We don't have to get it all into the mission statement. So I want us to move into vision, to our vision statement, because all of this is recorded. So I will have access to the transcription of this, right? Okay, good. So I can get the transcription of this, so that's great. Let's think about our vision statement. So let's share out about what are some of the things about the vision statement. Trustee Taylor?
I mean, and I taking the same approach. I looked at it, these were the words
What are
that
the key
jumped out.
words that jumped out for you?
Growth, strong, holistic, healthy, dedication, commitment. And now that went back to mission. But those were the words that stuck out or jumped out at me. Innovation, so I marked mines with M and V for mission and mission and vision, and I got an M and V on innovation. So,
So
yeah,
you for both?
I put both,
Yeah.
yeah, I put both. I was, but dynamic, motivating, flexible, yep. That's what jumped out.
And I'm kind of on the same page. I mean, commitment to excellence, collaboration, innovation. Yeah, those are the three that I came up
That
with.
stood out for you?
Mine
about-
is just simple, it's pretty much what they're saying here, but I think that growth is one, definitely.
Yes.
And then I think we need to just stay more focused in having our kids, our students' input in this vision. I know that it's there that says students, but I think we need to go and gather up what is it, how they would like to have a vision just to see in this school district. That's what I said.
What about you, Trustee Gomez? For vision.
For this one, number one, we very rarely ever visit the vision statement. So, you could have thrown some other language up there, and I'd have believed you that that was the vision statement, because we never talk about this. So that's number one. Number two, the challenge I have with the vision statement is talking about, well, I had listed dynamic, but if I think about every one of those words, motivating, flexible, don't reflect where we are. And again, we've had this vision statement for a while, so maybe because we haven't referred to it, or maybe just because it's not happening, we don't refer to it. But either way, the dynamic, motivating, flexible just does not resonate with me as something that we're currently doing or that we're moving toward doing. And the third point was that I find that we're very provincial. My building does this, my building does that, and the cooperative aspect doesn't really seem to be in play right now with the school district.
So it's kind of like everybody's working in silos.
Yes, I was going to say that, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Some of that was reflected in the data, too. You can see, even in some of the town hall comments, that people kind of worked for just their school.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't for the district. But this is why I think it's going to be important, because the mission and vision is going to drive the strategic plan. And when you all have the strategic plan in place, now you have a roadmap that people can't avoid. Because the board is saying, this is what we adopted, this is the path that we are on, right? Either you're getting on this bus or you're not. And there's no surprises either. So like when someone says, if a principal was having a conversation with a staff member, they can say that this is where we're trying to go and these are the things that you're demonstrating that's not getting us there, right? So it's not a personal thing. You're not saying, well, I may not like you, or I may not like how you work with students. It's now what you're doing is not aligned with what the district is trying to do for all students. It's a very different conversation, right? And that's going to be the next level, that once we get the strategic plan adopted, but this is going to get us on that right path.
If I could just add, we had coaches inside each building, let's say third, fourth, fifth grade coaches. And I know there's two schools of thought on this. I'll just share with you my thought. One of our previous superintendents thought of having a third grade, let's say third, fourth grade coach that does every building, third and fourth grade, so that right now we have 4 coaches at elementary schools, and they all have different styles. I don't know that they're on the same page. And the other thought was just to make them district coaches, so somebody would have first and second, somebody else would have third and fourth, somebody else would have fifth and sixth, or thereabouts. So it was just an alternate way of having coaches. but instead of having building specific, they'd be grade specific throughout the district.
And, both strategies could work, right?
sure.
What I have seen, I'm just going to go back on my superintendent hat. I saw when we had our district coaches, we saw more continuity throughout the district.
Right.
And they were also able to find kind of like those gems or those really solid classroom experiences where they could say, hey, you may want to come and shadow, and it may be in a different school, and they wouldn't have had access to that if it wasn't a district coach.
Yeah.
They would only know what happens in their building.
Right.
So what I found is a lot of coaches, sometimes some coaches, they complain too because they feel like they're in multiple campuses, right? So that was always a complaint I got as superintendent.
Of course.
But in regards to the content and the experience, they thought it was a wealth of, experiences that they got because they were able to see multiple campuses and not just one.
And that, I think, answers or addresses the silo issue,
Yeah,
removing the
sure.
silo, so.
Trustee Smith.
I have to agree with Trustee Gomez. Every school has their own little world or whatever they're doing, and that's okay because everybody's different. But unity still means a big part of it. As a district, one school should support the other school, as opposed to this school is doing this, that school is doing that. There has to be some type of common ground where we can all work together and achieve the same goals as raising the grades. The flexibility, yeah, the motivating, the dynamics, all of that's well and good, but educators, to me, I'm not even going to say that they need professional development because they get it, but they need to show what they have learned in professional development. Don't just come back and show us and show the district and the superintendent. This is, give them some, let them have some input so that he can know which direction to go to. And I'm just going to say this, and it might be out of terms or whatever. Cursive writing, who took that out? Our kids don't even know how to tell time.
Because if they can't write it, they're not going to be able to read it.
Right. So if they can't write, they can't read.
That's right.
If you don't have a clock and someone teaches a child 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, those are the things. A little bit of our mission vision, I feel some of the old school stuff should be brought back in, if it's just an activity. Am I making sense? Just an activity.
Right. It could
It's
be
just an activity.
in the CTE.
Now, us as an adult, we don't know anybody's phone numbers anymore. So those are the things that bother me. When I asked my grandson, which was 9 years old, I said, tell me what time it is. He knew that it was 10 after 12. He looked at the clock, but he's from a different district. Well, he's in Houston. And that's what they thrive on. He knows how to cursive write. He knows how to speak. He knows how to conduct. That's because we stay on him. And the teachers there don't play. So with the unity of the superintendents and the teachers, they need to be a little more motivated. You can't motivate anybody if you're not motivated. Maybe that's not a part of our vision.
I hear you.
If you lackadaisical, then guess what? Your students are going to be lackadaisical. So that motivating is really bothering me because the teachers need to be motivated so that our children will be motivated.
I kind of like the word Trustee Smith stated earlier, unity.
Unity.
Yeah, because it shows,
Maybe that's a core value,
yeah,
that you embrace unity. Yep.
sort of like a shared purpose, how we can bring all schools together, and to really focus that way with our students and Yeah.
Dr. Bornay, what did you make your comments about vision?
So I looked at the vision of where we would like to go, my vision for the school district, and I pulled out similarly the same words, but I wanted to interpret them. So community is community. But the other words that we had cooperative, and I would like to say collaborative. That addresses the silos in the district and people feeling they're disconnected. We had flexible, and I want to switch out that word I would like to switch out word for adaptive. Are we meeting the needs of our students? Are we meeting the needs of our families? We had sharing, and I said, for me, when I think about sharing, I think about resources. So what resources do we want to provide for our students so that they can be successful? And we had dialoguing, and then, of course, I focused on communication because something else that came up through the town halls were just some communication challenges. So I sort of pulled out those and said, where do I want us to go? Where do I want to push?
Trustee
I'd just like
Gomez?
to respond to that. I don't want to misconstrue the statement, but sometimes when I think about when we're talking about students that we say we want to meet them where they are, or we want to meet their needs, I want to exceed that. I really think that we don't push our kids hard enough. And I remember a previous superintendent had, raised the grade level. We were talking about athletics earlier, had raised the grade level requirements for students to participate in sports. And there were people in the community who were like, oh my God, you do that. We're not going to win another game in our lifetime. And the kids they met the bar. We raised the bar, they met it. So, and I'm not knocking Dr. Bernay's comment. I'm just adding my thoughts to it that, sometimes I think we get in a comfort zone of meeting them. I'd like to see us somehow exceed. Yes, just a thought.
Exceed.
Yeah, and I just want to make behind what Jesse said, it is, if they have gotten into their comfort zone. I don't know if you know this, but we got an elected school board in 2012. Okay, here we are in 2025. And, we just been going down, down, down. So, but like I said, there's no, this looks good. It looks good on paper, but is it being implemented?
Is it being implemented?
That's the
Yep.
thing about all of this. Is any of
Got to
this
have an
being-
accountability system.
That's what I'm saying, accountability, commitments. That's why I be real short, but like I say, I ain't dressed all up. I'm just gonna say what to the point. That's how I.
Because you're the queen.
No, not just that, because I'm just real, and there's some things just needs to be said.
That's right.
So, because when you dress up stuff, it seems like to me, some people get lost. Like, I didn't even pick out anything up there. I just was to the point. Like Mercedes said, she was just to the point. So I know that we can make a difference. Now, that I do believe. But we got to start, instead of just keep putting stuff on paper and talking.
Action speaks louder than words.
It does. That I do agree. And we are a small district. We only have 3,000 and some odd kids, so we should be able to do something.
That's right.
I like to think, with that small number.
Yeah, and you will. Yeah, you will. We will. So what I want you all to do is I want you to take your Post-its, right? Your mission Post-its, you're going to put them over there on that little large poster wall. Just post it up there. And then your vision Post-its, you're going to put, where do we put that one?
Next to it.
Next to it. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm like, they're right over there. They're both, I can't see that far.
Oh.
So we're going to take those and just put them up. It also allows you to get up to get some circulation. Because then we're going to come back and start talking about some core values. And I want to give you a recap of what we just talked about.
me see. Let me do this over.
I love this picture, by the way. Oh, my gosh. I want to use it on every slide.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want to come work for this school?
Well, Mercedes is smiling enough
Sure
for
is,
everybody.
I'll tell you, yes, come on down. Yes, just say Mercedes, come right on down. Yes, and I be like a bee with them glasses on. Remind me of this picture with the bee, with the man with the bee, them glasses on, you know what I'm saying? Every time I see that, oh,
He got a presidential smile on there. I love it.
yes. That was the day of your, you got sworn in. You got
Oh, that was the
sworn
day you were, so you were like, that's a good day.
Her and Jesse got sworn in.
We take a break to get some food? Or did you all want to get food?
I don't know, let me go.
You all want, can you eat
How
while we
much
work?
longer? Oh, no, how much, yeah, let's wait. How-
Okay,
we got-
we're gonna get through this. It's gonna take us about 20, 25
Yeah,
minutes.
we'll wait. I'm gonna go over that
Because
stuff.
some of the things, let me just give you just an idea of, so all the things that you're talking about, mission and vision, tomorrow we're going to be talking about mission and vision with the stakeholders too, right? So I can see some of the correlations, and most likely, typically, you're going to hear some of the same things, right? I'll be able to also reiterate some of the things that you all have said today too, to help them kind of know where you all were trying to go. With certain pieces, and then I bring it all together, and what you all will have is your original mission, and then you're gonna have two other options that incorporates. So then you all make the choice of what you want, right? But it's gonna be based on the input you've given today and some of the input we get from like students and staff and families tomorrow too, so that you're getting some stakeholder input too. So let's transition into core values. So after we got over this wonderful picture, right? Now I know this was a day that you all were like, we're in, we made it. So that's why I see those presidential smiles there. And don't mess with Trustee Rodriguez now. I'm just letting y'all know, this man, he won like national championships in
Yes, he
boxing.
did.
So I do kickboxing, but it ain't real boxing, right? Even though I jammed my finger yesterday. And I'm like, oh my, this is like real. And the person kept kicking my hand. So, and I was thinking like, it's hurt. I think he might break it. But I kept going. I'm a trooper. I'm a soldier. So let's talk about what are core values, right? Because the core values are going to really guide what we do, right? And what we believe as a district. And many things you all were already talking about. Like, I mean, especially like when you were saying you believe in the collaboration piece and you believe in this community, right? As you all are thinking through, we're gonna do something similar, and we're gonna jot down 2 to 3 words or short phrases that represent what you all think the values of the school city of East Chicago are, or what they should be, right? Because I've heard things, different phrases such like diversity. I heard collaboration. I heard families, but I'm giving you just some ideas of things that you all had already said, but I want you to think through, like what are some of these core values that you all have, or that you should have as a district. And for some of you who just came onto the board, right, you had to spend some time out in the community and hearing and campaigning and hearing, some of the constituents that were out there. Think about some of the things that you heard them say, what they want for their children, right? Think about what you think we should be believing in for every single student that walks into, our schools here. So let's take some time. You're going to jot down 2 to 3 things on your Post-its.
Oh, no, I got this. Repeat that again, I'm sorry.
So you're going to jot down 2 to 3 things on the Post-it notes of things that you feel should be the core values or the things that we believe here in the school city of East Cleveland? What should we believe for our school system, and what does every child deserve?
What should every child deserve?
Yep. What are your values? Food smells good.
I'll add, to help like guide the values you decide, consider culture within the school district or the school, right? Like, what type of experience do you want your students to have, your teachers to have, the community members to have, stakeholders to have, and what actions kind of shape that, right? What things do you want to be accepted here versus like what behaviors and means of being do you want to be kind of like unacceptable? So those are kind of the when you think of values, think of how you do the work that you do. What behaviors are accepted and considered normal versus ones that aren't. So that may help.
Still writing. once you have written your core values, if you can just take them and put them on the post-it over here. And that's how I'll know folks have jotted down their 2 to 3 words or short phrases.
Put everything in one paper.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh, we are, oh, okay.
I'm really not thinking.
Are them airplane fumes? Airplane fumes. I didn't come prepared. I knew that traffic at that time.
Guys, we're going to do kind of a data analysis. What we're going to do as a group is we're going to try to take different things that go together and try to group them. So you all are going to work together as a team to do that. So you're going to figure out how can we categorize that we have categories and they're not all over the place like they are right now.
Don't say it. Yes, support system and superintendent. Okay. Oh, go. Show out like that. Where you get that jacket from? But you gonna go over there and sneak you a piece of fish. You did say you had to go to, you did say you. Oh, oh, you do? Went today? Let me put these over there.
Between the core values.
Yes, yes, that should be it right there. That's
We're
it.
gonna believe we're gonna do this.
That's what that is. Yes, all of that faith, that's good. Yes. Well, that's where you put that online, super tip, longevity, I was just trying to think the right word.
Longevity, continuity. That was in the, it's a lot of turnover.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Category. So in that, it bubbles up is talk.
I almost came back with DEI. Yeah, I almost came back.
A quick fix.
A miracle.
Yes. Yes. It's got a lot to do with, it got a lot to do with, we don't have me. We don't have OCD. Yes.
I'm thinking, how about growth?
You gotta have growth.
Yeah, because
Behavior.
Oh, yeah, we don't have art, cause we had art, but what happened?
right? So what I want you all to do, everybody gets a color. Oh, well, choose your color you like.
Yeah, we are. Okay. I don't know if they can see us. Okay.
All right, so what I want you to do is only get to all of these. That's the language.
On each category.
Nope, total.
Total. Oh, the total.
Like, 3 dots. You get 3 dots.
Three choices. One of us get 3 choices.
Everybody gets 3.
Okay.
I have to agree with the same 3.
You don't have to agree with yourself.
You have to agree with yourself. You might have changed. You might have said I saw something different. Dots.
You get one, you get 3 dots on it?
3 dots.
3 dots.
That's
But
it.
there's 4 columns.
I know.
Me and you two. Yeah. Yeah, so don't forget that. They all look the same color to me. Okay, so I still have 2 more dots, right?
That's all you got.
You don't drive in your car. You just did your 3 dots. I still got 2 more dots to go. Yeah. At least you got that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna put a big old. Hey, we all can tap that. One down here, right? We can tap the face, right? We can do that. I mean, you know, it ain't in the count. Was that in the count?
That's in the count.
Yeah, it is. So I thought we was gonna make that be the topic of,
That's in the
you know,
count.
oh, my, well, Mercedes, you got it, that's good. Yep. I mean, we get 3 dots on each one.
Nope, 3 dots.
Each color. I'm not changing.
Still big time, we don't never get nothing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yours is yellow, how we gonna see it?
You gotta have faith.
Girl, you was on time with that one. You should let us all put that. You should just give us a. Go
That's what I
for it.
said. Well, you know, I was gonna go up there and just make a
But
start
I
on it.
got, yeah.
You know, not knowing it was in the count.
You can't put a
So
star.
we said it's in the count.
Well, I have faith, so
Me
I'm not
too.
even worried about it.
I ain't either. This is all about what it is. Yes. Yes. So Dan, you say, what, oh, go ahead. Oh, yes. Hey, don't forget to sign the sheet in here, Diane, when you get a chance. Huh? Yeah, sign the sheet.
Oh, man. No, just kidding.
Mhm. I don't know what he gonna do with these. He must have forgot he gave us these here. I guess we can take these home. Oh, no. Oh, everybody ain't got a pack of these. Oh, everybody don't got a pack of these.
I can't believe he wouldn't just let faith just stay all by itself.
I would like to think that it should have. You know?
So, come back over for a second, 'cause I want you
Oh.
all to see the final.
Oh, okay. The end results of everything, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, but we don't. No, we ain't got nothing till Thursday.
These right here, these are the items that everybody feels something about. And that doesn't mean that this goes away, because these show up in our goals.
Yellow.
Her yellow. I had to look close, but yeah, I got to see 1, 2, 3 yellows. So, I'm gonna hold on to this because this might still come up, later. But what I'm gonna take from this is that we know we're gonna have 4 core value areas. One is gonna be related to resources. One is gonna be about high quality instruction, about accountability. I have to figure out how to get faith in here.
I would put it under equity,
So,
because that's, yeah.
and I might find it, and it may put it into, I may put it into some kind of language, in the language, so I have to figure it out. But what my next task to do, what I'm gonna have to do is to come up with some core values. But I'm gonna start with this with the team. They're gonna build off of what you all have done. Won't see a final product until after tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
29,
Oh,
yeah.
what time?
It's not all, but 4 to 6.
4 to 6 tomorrow.
Oh, we.
Joel and I will
Yeah,
be
yeah, I told you, you all do that. No, the skill is over here.
So they'll be there tomorrow. But they'll be able to, they'll be able to build on this perspectives. Like you all are speaking from a board perspective. You can support staff perspective. As well as our mission and vision. God, seriously, give yourselves a round of applause. That was, and we did that in 2 hours, right? We did, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Which is always important to make sure we're on task. But I'm glad we didn't break. Tomorrow, we're not starting from scratch. And we have some direction of where the board wants. Hey, you all have to approve. What I want to be able to do is tomorrow, I'll take the stakeholders, the information today, and you all are going to see 3. Okay. So, for example, you'll see original and then 2 vision statements. Also see some sample. I have to select 1 for each. 1 for resources, 1 for high quality instruction, 1, but you're going to see 3. So that's the job you all are going to have to do. But we're going to share that with you through your. And I'm hoping that maybe that's something that you all can decide at a board before When's your board meeting in April? April.
I'm sorry.
April 8th. So it'd be great. Or to solidify those. I was, because in our April session that we're having, I think. We're gonna start developing goals. So we wanna make sure that goals are being driven by mission, vision, core. That's why you're gonna start seeing some of this other stuff show up in the goal. Like one thing that I know, that I hope shows up, right? I'm gonna push people's thinking that it shows up. Something about, even though we say multicultural here, something the goals will need to be is something about bilingual. Gotta be very explicit about that because it kept coming up. But that needs to be one of, in our goals or in our action steps or in our theory. But it's gonna all make sense to you all. Building, so by the time we get to June,
It would be a. That's what I was thinking.
yes, it is.
I think,
So it
yeah.
might be, so a value might be, we believe in. A goal might be that, for making sure that, might have a goal that's just more specific.
Okay, okay. That's what my thought was, like that.
Our goal has to be specific. We'll have some action steps. After they'll start developing action plans. What does that look like for my school? Because every school has different data. So like, that is where you are making decisions about your, doesn't look the same. But in regards to what we're focused on, everybody's focused on multiculturalism. Everybody's going to be focused on bilingual. What does that look like for building English? Yep.
Okay.
Then when it's time to hold people accountable, it's gonna be a lot easier. Already given the marching orders, it's not a secret. It's what we expect. Up in our strategic, I'm glad we have
Oh,
some
it came up in
strategic
our,
committee
it came up in our, when we did our search.
Yeah.
It was in
Yeah,
search.
yeah.
I got your paper.
It was in search.
Yes.
We had data for search.
It's search,
as well.
okay,
Yep.
yes,
We got the search data,
yes.
the 100-day plan data, the
Yes.
town hall data. So we had a lot of data that we just consolidated to put.
Yes.
But now you'll see the trends. It should be a surprise to you all, it just validates what you already know. All right, give yourselves a round of applause.
Hold on, let me go back here.
Let me get this,
Take the sanitizer stuff back here.
take that sanitizer.
Right.
I think you have to officially close the work session.
You want to close the work session?
Oh, with the hand sanitizer? Okay. Okay.
I want to thank everybody for coming to the work session that we've had here. And so I'm going to ask that our meeting is adjourned.
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by trustee Rodriguez,
Second.
second by trustee Taylor. Yeah, when I hit it,